The Manage Activities page allows you to see a list of the activity modules, where the activities have been used and the version, and also an ability to hide and show that activity, which will in fact hide it from all courses across your site. You can in fact completely delete the activity, and each activity has its own settings, and what we'll do now is look at some of the more common activities and the main settings for those. Assignment options include an ability to set the maximum file size for an assignment to be uploaded. Bear in mind this is going to be lower or the same as the course limit, which of course is the same or lower than the actual site limit. There's also an option to choose how words are counted, which can be important in some academic settings, and whether recent submissions are actually shown in the activity reports. There are quite a few options here for the forum settings, including the number of discussions per page. You could reduce this if you don't need to see 100 at any one time. Also control over the maximum attachment size, again within the actual course limit, and also control over things like the number of attachments that can be made. Interesting, down the bottom you'll see that RSS feeds are disabled at this time, and that's because RSS feeds on a new installation are disabled, so you need to switch that on at a site level and then come here and enable RSS feeds for forums if that's what you want. There are quite a lot of settings for the quiz module. Most of these can be left set to their defaults within a new installation. However, it's probably worth talking to academic staff. For example, the option to shuffle questions, if that's going to be a useful default, then that's a good thing to do. Teachers can still actually switch that off within their new quizzes, but if as a default this is going to speed up the process for everyone, then it's a good idea to do that. The Manage Blocks option is a little bit similar to the Manage Activities option, in that you can see a list of all the blocks that are used within the site, where they're used, the date, and again the ability to hide them, delete them, and some blocks have individual settings, so it's perhaps worth just running through those quickly to make sure that the defaults are applicable to your own scenario. Authentication is concerned with the way user accounts are created on your Moodle site. In this screenshot we can see that manual accounts is enabled, also email-based self-registration, which is quite common on a commercial site, and also LDAP. Each of these authentication methods has settings, and it is worth checking that the settings for each of these is correct based on your organisation. Enrolment plugins are concerned with the way users get added to courses. Manual enrolments allows administrators to do this easily. Guest access may be required for courses that are free, for example. Self-enrolment, perhaps using enrolment keys, and cohort sync, which enables administrators to create groups of users and then enrol them very simply as a single cohort within a course. Notice that you've also got settings here for each option, and it's worth checking that they're set up correctly, and you have a quick and easy way to enable and disable each of these plugins. Moodle 2 introduces a new editor based on TinyMCE, and this is more compatible with a wider range of browsers and also has more features. You do have the option here, however, to enable or disable these, and indeed to change the order. The HTML editor does have a spell check facility. This could be linked to pSpell if you have this installed on your server, or perhaps Google Spell. The Manage Licenses option allows you to set the default site license for all resources uploaded. So when a teacher, for example, uploads a PDF document, they can choose the type of license that applies to that resource. Filters are used throughout Moodle to process text and display it. Multimedia plugins, for example, will take a movie and actually show it in line. We can also display emoticons as images. We can enable activity linking or database linking. Some of the important ones might be word censorship, and you can also have Moodle filters convert any URLs directly into links. Moodle 2 introduces the repositories system, which effectively replaces the files folder in the administration block in earlier versions. Here we can see server files, which could be a folder or a directory on the server somewhere. an ability to upload files obviously, and a list of recent files which will help teachers if they're reusing files a lot. Each user also has a private files area now, and there are other repository systems which can also be enabled if relevant. Web Services is a new feature within Moodle 2. It's an advanced and sophisticated system and generally would probably be left off on most new installations. The Manage Question Type screen shows you which question types are enabled in Moodle, how many times those questions have been used, and you can hide them and in fact delete them. There are, just like with blocks and with modules, extra question types that you may want to install on your system at some point. Moodle 2 has a new plugin architecture, and any third-party or add-in modules should be shown here under the Manage Local Plugins option.